rereading The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and you know that thing that he does where he can look at you and make deductions about you, using the power of observation.
Yeah.
So I can observe by looking at you that your wife is in town.
How so?
Is she in town or not?
Have I selected the best clothing?
Is she in town or not?
Have I selected the best clothing?
Why don't you just say
you can't
thank
answer
you?
the
Just
question.
Answer the question and say thank you.
Is your wife
That's
in
a
town or
compliment.
not?
Oh, the wife
Thank
is in
you.
town.
Good. Thank you. So
See the way you said the thank you.
Thank you.
Raymond,
Yes.
are you flipping the papers with the tap on your tongue all the time?
are you? Did you used to work in a forex bureau?
Why? Yes. Today, some people are recommending Victorian language in writing press releases. That is my own practice. I don't want to abandon
Touching your
it.
tongue before you turn the flip
Yes.
the page.
Yeah.
They say people who do that are very stingy. I read it somewhere, but knowing you, it can't be true.
Oh yes.
That's another Sherlock Holmes deduction.
Well, being stingy is not a bad thing. You know,
When they mention dry bones, and some people start.
What are you saying?
why do people think that their sustenance must be dependent on others?
Goodness.
Why? In this economy,
There are many in this republic that support you.
no, in this economy, it's the smartest
You
thing to do.
sound like an accountant this morning.
But money is earned. That's the reality.
Yeah.
You earn money.
Yeah.
You earn it.
Give, and it
So
will
I
come back to
asked
you.
a question on Facebook yesterday, and it's generated so much conversation. I asked ladies to tell us what's the minimum amount a man must earn in order to date them. And so, as you can imagine, the debate has been going left and right. But what Winston just said has come up quite strongly in the conversation. A lot of ladies have said, "Oh, we don't care how much he earns as long as he is generous." And people will come and say, "Generous? Then why must your survival depend on somebody's generosity?"
Is that what they've said?
Yes, I've been reading the
They
comments.
said
That's what they've been saying.
generous.
I've
They
been
say
following.
my survival
Mamavi,
depends
you've
on
not
your
been following
generosity.
you've not been following
I
the
haven't
post.
actually.
Yes, me, I've been following. That's what
I'm
they've
just
been
trying to
saying.
interpret what he just said.
Now we have seen the evidence. You were not there. You are telling us what was there.
Before we continue to our drive safe campaign,
But you have to be a good neighbor.
we live in a country where
Yes.
sometimes people through their eyes judge you based on what they expected you to do,
Yeah.
and you did not do. That's how we behave sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody is arrogant based on what you expected him to do and he didn't do. Somebody is proud based on what you expected him to do and he never did. The reality is that if I have my money, I decide what I want to do with the money. I could be kind enough to give you some of my money.
But you are not
But
entitled to it.
You are not entitled to it. My family can and demand money from me, immediate family.
You mean
Yes.
wife and children?
Yes.
Nuclear family.
Nuclear family. They can demand that money. As a matter of responsibility, I, Winston Amoah, when I get money, I will remember my mother and father. Because they've been so good to me. But if you are my friend and you say, "Oh, I need money," and I say I don't have, how does that make me a stingy man?
But if you say you don't have, you are not stingy. It's the ones who say I won't give. They are the ones who are called stingy.
Sometimes he cannot give you. It's not that he won't. He cannot.
But
Because
if he won't,
gives
is it
you-
a crime?
It's not a crime. It's a choice. Yes. Anyway.
We should be giving. We should actually be charitable in our engagement.
But having said that, this is for purposes of debate. If you have, and others don't have.
Giving purposes of
I was waiting to hear what you would say.
Manana,
especially
wadana.
after our Easter soup kitchen at the Wejale Leprosarium. I am not by any means saying that, giving to girls and charity would be the same. I'm just
Why
saying
not?
it's the same concept.
Why is it not the
Generous.
same?
But you give to, but you see, yes, be generous
Yes.
to those who have no means of raising funds. Like if you go and give,
Not those who have made it a life to.
yeah, not those who have made it a life.
You know-
depend on others.
This is going to feature quite strongly in our conversation today.
Yeah.
Because part of the reason why we don't seem to have any billionaires on the Forbes list, part of it is ascribed to our attitude towards wealthy people. That we have a certain sense of entitlement and resentment towards wealthy people. Is that true? Today we'll explore that,
All right.
among other things.
Let's get into our Drive Safe campaign.
Let's
It's brought
do
to
it.
you by Joe News and Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Superior Quality and Imperial General Assurance. Solid protection. Avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Drive safe.
Let's learn how to say it right, brought to us by Kingdom Books at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
It is time to apprise ourselves of the latest topic for Say It Right. And we've already said it right. Apprise. A-P-P-R-I-S-E. Apprise. It means to inform or update. Now, I have heard some people say appraise when they mean to say apprise. But appraise means something else entirely. A-P-P-R-A-I-S-E. To assess the value or performance of something. Now, as a rule, the preposition to use when you say apprise is of. You apprise someone of the situation, not with the situation or on the situation. So there you go. Now you are fully apprised of how to say it right.
Who you are? Okay then. So, shall we get on with it?
But Kojo, this is a conversation we must have on
Can
Friday.
I just say that?
Yes. In
Friday.
fact, that's why I
The
put it
kind
up
of
on
generosity
Facebook.
that you guys are talking about, isn't that an exchange?
Which one?
What is
what
exchange?
you just described.
What
Is it
exchange?
not an exchange?
What exchange?
It's a give and take thing, isn't
No,
it?
no.
Raymond.
No,
We are
there's
saying that
no-
when you have money,
Okay, no, I
For
support
those-
Mamavi anyway.
Well, it was the women who were calling it generosity, not us.
for the vulnerable like
The
those,
recipient was calling it
see,
generosity.
the vulnerable like those are the wager leprosarium. In fact, yesterday I was talking to my very good friend Isaac Kwaminti, whose birthday is on the 28th of April.
Yeah.
He says he wants to make a donation.
Brilliant.
And I was
hear
actually
people saying that
yes,
a lot.
and I was actually
It's
convincing
better to
him.
funnel it
yeah.
there
I was
than
actually
to do some
convincing
messy
him
party.
to take it to the Wager Leprosarium. And
Yeah.
he said, oh, he normally donates to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
Okay.
But because he's close to Pantan, he wants to donate to the Pantan
okay.
Hospital
Okay.
this time around.
Okay.
That is good. Okay. That one, I am all for it. But when you have made it a living,
A profession.
right, to live on others, I say no.
Professional beggar.
Don't you live on them too?
Look how.
Have you seen the video of beggars, of the richest beggars in the world?
Yeah,
They are richer than the people they beg from.
that's true.
People have mansions
Yes.
just by way of begging.
You're analyzing this one too much.
Anyway, on Friday, I think that's the reason why I put up that question.
We'll do this on Friday.
Because the economy is hard, and I want to know whether we can still afford dating. So on Friday, we'll get into that.
By force.
But women are giving very clear and specific answers to that question I put up, by the way. Very clear answers. They are stating exactly how much they believe a man must earn as a minimum before he has any chance of dating them. Yeah.
Do they state what the woman must earn to?
No, I didn't ask them that.
Let's continue. Let's get into the news.
Yes, brought to us by Enterprise Insurance, Woodie Womb Motor Promotion. Enterprise, your advantage.
The Daily Graphic is reporting this morning, don't create tension in country. Peace counsel to political actors. So yesterday, the NDC officially sent a petition to the police. You know, first, when we spoke to the Deputy General Secretary, and the question was asked whether they were going to follow up with that. He said they've already said it. They issued a statement, and they should read it. But I'm sure somebody might have advised them that, listen, if you are serious, follow it up so that we can make a case out of it in the future. So the head of, head of legal affairs?
Yes,
Abraham Amalba?
Yes, one of the lawyers within the NDC actually took the petition with others to the police. The police received the petition. They are waiting on the police for action. Later on in the evening, Owusu-Aboagye, the national organizer of the NPP, made it very clear. He did a revelation that they are preparing a petition. The NDC's petition is against Brian Champon. Theirs is against John Dramani Mahama. And Esiedin Ketia. They say they have heard them make comments. They are equally problematic. So they want the police to also invite them, arrest them, and prosecute them. Yeah, we should clean the space. when the question was asked to Amaliba, oh, do you think that's a good call? So no, hold on. It was after the gentleman spoke, after our Kumasi or Swami executive spoke. When the Swami executive spoke, we agreed. The police told all of us that, when you draw the line, nothing further. Here now, that's where the line is drawn. So any other thing that said after that. So Amaliba says that was when they drew the line. And all the comments they are talking about fell outside the line.
You see?
So now the Peace Council is saying that the political parties should have the country be peaceful.
No, but you see the problem in this country. This is the electoral democracy we run.
Yes.
Everything about our democracy is election.
Yeah.
So right after elections, we're thinking about the next election. There's no period where we sit down as a country and think about the development of the country.
Brilliant.
All we do is to think about how I can win the next election. And so you would have in this country, once an election is concluded, the party that loses begins strategizing. People spring up.
Yeah.
The party that wins, if the party is into its second term, names would emerge in January of the following year, right after the elections, on who becomes the flag bearer. Everything we do in this country is about who wins a political position. And do you now understand the kind of corruption we have in this country? Do you now understand the kind of procurements we have in this country? Because everybody wants to find himself in a position where he can make some money. Because today, being a delegate is also a very lucrative job.
I know a friend. He's going to run. Actually, he's a sitting MP. He just feels, Charlie, this parliament now I should give up on it. I don't see why I'm going to look for money to go and give to people in the name of delegates to actually keep me in my role. When if I were not to be in parliament, in all fairness, for an opposition MP, I would have gotten more money. So he's just saying, listen, for the period, my salary is some peanut. If you do those deductions and all of that, it will not come to what you earn. So he's shocked that people are actually lacing their boots. Younger people are lacing their boots to join the race because to him, he doesn't understand why almost 150 or so people are going to demand money when they say he is the best man to be doing the job, that his competence is needed in the office. But the open auction, and we have accepted that, right? We are pretending we don't accept it, but we have accepted that it's an auction. We go into election, then pay Mamavi and Co as delegates. Then the opponent also pays them. The same delegate take money, then they decide, okay, this man is bigger than that one. Then you continue with it. That's the democracy around it. Anyway, now the other story is be empathetic with economic turnaround. I don't know who got it wrong or something.
Empathetic.
Yes, but the word there.
Oh yeah, there's something missing. Yes.
There was something missing in there. Yeah, with economic turnaround. This is according to Sam Jonah, and he was talking about
empathic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, that's also what I saw. So I was quite confused about it. Now, so Sam Jonah is saying that the people of this republic should actually help government get better. But he had tough words for government too. The government should not be arrogant. The government should make sure that they put the people first and not be taken into this spiral and continuous process of always being in this position. There's a story about tourism ministry developing more sites. This is according to the deputy minister for tourism. He says we'll be developing more sites. I just pray that this would also mean that the existing ones, some of them languishing, some of them abandoned to their fate, would also be developed. But it's not quite late. And now 1.5 years we can develop more sites.
In my travels, what I have discovered is that,
as an expert in Ghanaian tourism,
oh my engine, what I've discovered is that the tourist attractions that flourish are managed either privately or by the community. The minute the government comes in, they start to deteriorate. I don't want to point a finger. I don't want to play the blame game, but government is not yet at the position where they have either the resources or in some cases even the know-how to maintain such sites and make them flourish. So if a community wants to take over a tourist attraction, charge the money for it, put up a board of trustees, and use the proceeds to develop that community, I would support it. Because for the thing to go into consolidated fund and disappear, some way.
All right, Ray, let's say it right. I think the paper says emphatic. It's not
no.
empathetic.
So it's empathic.
Emphatic. Say it right. Check
Really?
it. Yeah.
What is the sentence?
Yeah. Just
What's
check
the
it.
sentence?
Be emphatic with economic turnaround.
No, Mamavi, the word is
Turnaround efforts.
No,
Some
take your
Jonah.
time. It can be emphatic because check it out. It's
Okay.
EMPA.
So Raymond is
the-
checking it.
The spelling,
Let me do-
the spelling was wrong. So if you look at,
Oh no, but the word exists. EMPATHIC
so it's
exists.
EMPH, but this was spelled EMPA.
Oh, so there was
No.
an H introduced.
Yes.
Yes, Ray.
So that's the spelling in here. Confused you.
I'm saying that the word actually exists, and I've looked it up. It says showing an ability to understand and share the feelings of others.
No, sorry, but is
It's
there
not
an
about whether
H?
the word exists, though. We
Eh,
want to
is
know
there an
which
H?
one the newspaper was using.
Is there an H in what you're looking
Okay.
at?
So
Yes.
the newspaper has misspelled something here. But what was
No, that's
Sam
not his
Jonah
word.
saying?
Okay.
That's the question.
He actually meant that the people should understand what government is doing, help government out, and also have some tough words for government. You get my point?
Okay, so we'll find
Yes,
one of the
and he
meanings
says here-
appropriate.
no, he says
and
here-
fix it.
Statesman Sam Jonah has urged policymakers to be more sensitive to the feelings and needs of the citizens as they initiate measures to navigate the difficult path of economic restructuring.
All
The
right.
word is empathetic, not emphatic.
No. See, I mean, I'm saying that the word exists. Let's not even have problems
Can
with
we
that.
draw a line and move on?
EMPATHIC exists as a word.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
That's what I'm
yes.
not disputing.
We are
That
okay
was
with
what I
that.
That's the
also
word that
checked.
was used.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
empathic.
Yes, empathic. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's get into. Can we move on?
Yes, please.
All right, we've agreed to. The Ghanaian Times newspaper on the front page, farmer 39 to die by hanging for murder in 2017. Details are a bit gory. He is accused of, now convicted of, killing a 9-year-old. So the complainant and father of the deceased, Barbara Ofori, aged 9, lived together with Ibrahim James, also a farmer, in a farm cottage at Fawo Cabra, is near Inchi. Fawo Cabra.
That's an interesting
So this is how it happened. James emerged, and this was on the farm. The deceased visited a pit latrine in a cocoa farm to attend nature's call. Whilst there, James emerged at the scene, lured her into a nearby forest, and used an elastic band, a catapult, around her neck. He also used Barbara's cloth to tie her nose and mouth, killing her instantly, according to the state attorney, Miss Mara Pelpo. Well, he's now been sentenced, but we know that since 1993 we haven't actually killed anyone like that, so this will be life imprisonment, I guess.
Well, the Daily Guide says cop beaters get 70,000 Ghana cedis bail. Brand Chempon Bruha arrest Mahama. NPP replies NDC. So you've talked about that. And naked demo hits NDC over Dumelo. So we're told that members of the NDC in Ayawaso West Wogan constituency are fuming with anger over what they allege to be attempts by the party to impose a parliamentary candidate on the constituency. So you know that there was they actually suspended vetting in that constituency. Later on, the National Executive Committee were told director that one candidate be vetted, and that candidate was John Dumelo. When I was listening to Top Story somewhere around last week, and so supporters of the other candidates are unhappy, and they suspect that the party is trying to get John Dumelo to contest as an unopposed candidate. A lot of things happening in politics. The man had been in the Volta, had been in the Oti region, doing a lot of work in the Guan constituency, which is about to be created. It's been created, of course, Guan constituency. And then when he decided to contest in the Guan constituency, a lot of discussions were had, and the party felt that he is better placed to win the Ayawaso West Wogan seat. So he's in Ayawaso West Wogan. He's trying to, snatch that seat from the NPP. I do not know whether the problem was with the NPP's candidate in the last election. We don't know. But sometimes it's also important you wait for your opponent to choose a candidate before you also decide who becomes your candidate. You may never know what happens.
But I wonder sometimes what the strategy is, like from the very onset, when a party wants to dictate who should run in a constituency. I mean, what is the downside of letting them all stand and letting the delegates pick who they wish? What's the downside of that?
I'll tell you after the BBC News.
Okay, which is brought to us by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, but that comes after the online review, and that is by the kindness of our friends at Goyle Good Energy and Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
And looking for a bank that understands you and puts your financial needs first? Don't look too far. Zenith Bank is your bank of choice, and we have products tailor-made for you, whether you're young, old, or an entrepreneur, student, a salaried worker, corporate entity, an SME, a pensioner parent, or a Ghanaian resident abroad, or a foreigner resident in Ghana. At Zenith Bank, everyone can bank with us. Join the Zenith Bank family today for unrivaled banking experience. Talk to us on 0302 680884 or 0307 086370, or email us at info@zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Two interesting stories on myjoyonline.com. IMF lowers Ghana's growth rate to 1.6% in 2023, and UK red lists Ghana and Nigeria for health workers recruitment. Interesting. Find out more on myjoyonline.com. Right now, though, time for the BBC News, brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.